everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Public Opinion with your hosts, Pam and Vanetta. Public Opinion is the current event discussion and debate show that gives participants the opportunity to respond to the public opinion question of the week. So make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. And hello there, Vanetta. Welcome back. How are you?
Hi, how are you this evening? Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, you know what? Thank you for being my co-host. And how have you been enjoying the Black History Month so far?
Well, you know, Black History Month goes by so fast, but I've been enjoying it. I have taken the time out to watch two great movies. The first one was One Night in Miami. I absolutely loved that.
I loved that. The acting was excellent.
Excellent. And it humanized these great men.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it so much. And then Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Oh, yeah, I watched that.
Well, now, you know, August Wilson, I love his theater, but it always leaves me a little sad. And that one definitely, I didn't see that ending coming.
I didn't either.
Okay, so, but I was proud to see a Black man doing it and to tell our story, and it's so much more. And I was proud to see a woman who knew her worth back in that day.
Yeah.
So that was impressive.
Yeah, and then what was the other one you looked at?
I said One Night in Miami.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you saw three. So, but you saw.
No.
Yeah, I saw both of those. I thought they were excellent. And you know what? Yeah, that is a good segue to talk about what our topic is this week is about minority businesses. But before we get started with that, we have to meet our participants for this week. So let's welcome Stephanie Adams. And Stephanie is an attorney, an author, and an entrepreneur. And then we have Kent Whitley. And Kent is an urban planner for Whitley and Whitley Architects. So let's welcome our participants this week, and we're so happy to have them. So welcome, Kent and Stephanie, and thank you both so much for agreeing to be on the show with me and Vanetta. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely, and I am very excited to see what your responses are to the public opinion question for the week. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to show you the public opinion question, and then Stephanie, after that, I want you to start us with the answer. So let's see the question for this week. Should you patronize a minority-owned business just because it is minority-owned? So Stephanie, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and let you answer that question, and you have 2 minutes.
Interesting question. So I am of the opinion that you definitely should patronize minority businesses because there are a significant amount of Black men and women who have made core businesses that allow us to diversify our money and spend within our own neighborhoods. But also we have the opportunity to research and find other companies of color, whether or not they're locally based or, you know, overseas or whatnot. There are plenty of opportunities for us to patronize minority businesses and give Black people our money that we work for.
All right.
All right.
That was a good answer. I like that answer. So Ken, let's hear what you have to say.
Sure. I think we definitely should support minority-owned businesses. For one, I think it brings upward mobility, self-reliance, and independence. This strengthens our community and gives us group power, especially economically.
Great. All right. That was a very good, very intellectual answer.
We have quite the group with us this evening, don't we?
Okay.
These are heir parents. Remember that, both of them.
Right. And with you saying that, Vanetta, let's find out what their backgrounds are. So Kent, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do,
Sure.
and any connections you had to minority business.
I'm a second generation minority business as far as Whitley Architects and Planners. I'm a political consultant as well. I have my own business called Whitley One LLC, and I'm a political consultant, and both of those are minority-owned businesses.
Okay, and is that a family business, obviously, with that name?
It is. Yes, it is.
How far back is that business go?
That business goes back, Whitley goes back to 1963, and Whitley One Group LLC goes back to 2016.
All right, and then Stephanie, what's your background?
So my father started his own floral business in 1978. He was in East Cleveland for 40 years before he retired, and his brother, my uncle, started another flower shop over by Cleveland Clinic in 1979. So the two of them, Gaines and Gaines Florists, they ran those businesses successfully. Eventually passed them on to my siblings, and now we do different things with Gaines Floral business. But I opted to go to law school so that I could assist primarily Black people in getting LLCs and, you know, learning how to be corporate entities and that kind of thing. So currently I am the senior corporate counsel at Sherwin-Williams. And, you know, they have a huge multi-billion-dollar project to keep their headquarters in Cleveland. So I'm definitely trying to funnel Black people into that contract so that we get more Black architects and contractors and whatnot working in the city. But from an entrepreneurial standpoint, because I have a blue collar father or, you know, working class parents, I have written a children's book, which has been published in December, and it's been very successful. I'm very excited about that. And I also do a lot of volunteering with other organizations of color to promote Black businesses and to promote independence and wealth for minority women.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, you know, this is what I want to say. I remember as a child that there were so many Black businesses in my neighborhood. And it wasn't like a discussion, will you go to the Black business? It's the business you're going to. That's where we spent our dollars.
Yeah. And so what do you all think happened with that? What happened that we don't have that anymore? Like we used to have.
Segregation. They got rid of segregation. Yeah. The removal of segregation we thought was going to be tremendous, but it hurt our community.
Assimilation
we used
as
to
well.
rely on
Lots of assimilation, but you know, just in particular, one huge product for African American women and men is hair care, right? And I remember as a kid, you couldn't get shampoo and conditioner at Walmart or, you know, at a regular store. You had to go to a store that was run, you know, by folks of color that would get the products that you need. And even that's not the case anymore. The majority of hair care product stores are owned by Koreans or Asians and not minorities, even though they're in minority neighborhoods.
Yeah, big corporate entities as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you said assimilation, you said the removal of segregation. But the other thing is, after we had the opportunity to take our money out of Black neighborhoods and put them elsewhere, there's also like a mistrust of minority businesses. Like you thought that people who were not Black were going to give you a better deal or be more fair than, you know, the people that are in your own neighborhood. And sometimes we learned that could be true and also not, you know, in most cases, the person who lives next door to you, because you have to look them in the face every day, will probably do better, you know, do right by you in terms of business because you have to see them every day.
And our tolerance is far lower. We will not accept a mistake. We view that as an overall arching issue with the business. Yes. And that is not how you perceive it when you go to Macy's, but that is how you perceive it when you go into the Perry shop.
That's true. And the first thing when you go to a business of color, as friends and family, you want a discount, right? You don't go to Macy's and ask for anything other than the coupon that you got when you present it. But when, you know, when it's the florist, when it's the lawyer, when it's you looking for a discount. And so a lot of times your business can't get a substantial traction because you can't provide a discount to everybody. Everybody can't get the friends and family discount.
Right. And many times a Black business or a minority business is going to be a little higher in price. And that's because we don't get the opportunity to buy from the big suppliers, or we had a more difficult time getting the loan. just like right now with these loans that they're giving out to small corporations. Black-owned companies are having a heck of a time getting this money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that's very
the biggest thing,
problematic.
sure. The biggest thing that we need to always look for, which we do as a community, is excellence. And what you have Black excellence, sometimes you have white excellence, but in the Black community, we look for Black excellence, and you know who's going to do a good job. You have to understand that sometimes some things might go a little skewed, but you can't blame it on the whole race.
Mm-hmm. I think you're absolutely right, Kent, because I think now, like what Vanetta said, it's almost like they're looking for perfection, and they're not tolerant. And that's the thing. And I believe in giving people a fair chance and an opportunity. And if you make a mistake, go just tell them what it is. Now, if they don't fix that mistake, that's a different thing. But I mean, I hear so many people sometimes that say something like, "Oh, I went there and they were slow. The service was bad. I'm never going again." As if you've never gone to a minority place and they haven't done good business. You were right back there again.
Right.
So,
That's right.
TGI Fridays and Applebee's got the same slow service, but you show up there every Friday for the 2 for $20 or whatever. But if it's a Black-owned business, you mad because it took too long for them to deliver. It's the truth. And it's almost, I won't say it's an overly saturated market, because there's enough room in business for every person that wants to own a business. But if you don't actually have any compassion or empathy and communication with the owners and the customers, there has to be some common balance. Like, we're human beings, right? I'm never going to be at my best 100% of the time. If I did not give you quality service as a business owner, it is every much my responsibility to apologize for you and figure out how I make it right so that you do come back. But if you're a one and done just because, you thought it was supposed to be a better experience because the owner was a minority, you're never going to be satisfied.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. And why is it that in our own community, we wouldn't be willing to spend a little more? It may cost a little bit more, but you'll see that dollar come back in educating our children. You'll see that dollar come back.
It's called the Black tax. You got to pay it.
Right.
Yeah.
But like you said, Kent, about how a dollar goes around in the Jewish community 6 times before it leaves out.
Correct.
That is true. I work in a environment that is a Jewish-led organization, and I will pay more for something because it is our community. And when I'm at work, I'm a part of that community.
Yeah.
And it's not a question.
There are specific organizations now, like there's the Norman S. Minor Bar Association, which is the minority bar association for minorities in Cleveland. We have a specific chat room on Facebook and other avenues so that we can actually request, I'm looking for a lawyer in this area, so that we can find lawyers of color. The same is true for other businesses. I'm in a book club that promotes my book, or like Black Girls Craft, because we do a lot of crafting or whatnot. But it's important for you to sustain your business and also market within your community so that you are reaching customers in a quality way. And then I can promote your business by word of mouth because you've done great for me. I know that you'll do great for Pam. You'll do great for Kent. You'll do great for it's always been that way, like grassroots from the bottom to the top. And you have to grow your brand, but your word is your bond. If your reputation is not good, you're not going to be successful in business.
You're absolutely right. And so that's what I was about to say. It works both ways. You have to be willing to be professional. And that's what I think sometimes people don't or lose sight of, especially a lot of times, like most of us like going to, I know I do, I like going to a Black beautician and so I expect, though, to have professionalism. My beautician is very professional. However, she has dealt with people in her shop when she had a shop with other people who weren't as professional. And she was concerned that they would bring her down because they weren't showing up on time. They were stopping and buying stuff that people were peddling in the store instead of concentrating on there. So it has to be, you have to go into it with a level of professionalism as well.
Sure. And as a Black businesses, the Black business I've dealt with, they've always gone above and beyond because we have to. you have to strive for perfection, because even amongst your own, any slight, is portrayed back to the whole group.
Yes.
So the majority of Black businesses have been beat to a discipline of where they are above and beyond in Black excellence. I love it, especially the Black communities, Black companies I've worked with.
That's true. And we've got to be also more mindful of accepting bad service in a majority business. Because if I go somewhere and I feel as if my dollar isn't valued, I'm supposed to walk out that door. Because I'll tell you, like I said, I work in a Jewish organization. There's a store here that has openly had comments, a big franchise, and they told me not to shop there. And I respect that. I do not shop there with their dollar. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we need to make more of an effort versus us trying to be a part of a community that mistreats us. We should make sure that they understand. You mistreated me, you lost my dollar.
Yeah.
One thing I agree with you 100%, Vanessa. That's a very good point. Because with Black businesses, you have to find them. The excuse is, I couldn't find one. And I'm saying that comes from the majority community as well. That used to just resonate so much, especially in the professional services. Well, we couldn't find an African American. And they're out here. They're out here everywhere. As Stephanie was talking about the Norman S. Minor Bar Association, there are Black attorneys out here ready and willing to work with Black excellence.
Oh, that's absolutely true. But we have to get away from, I know when I first became an attorney, I remember hearing some other Black people say, oh, well, I want a Jewish attorney, or, and as if they were going to do a better job, or, and that's the thing. We have to get away from stigmas and understand that, and appreciate each other's worth. And but, a lot of that is just systemic and what has been passed down to you. But we have to do a better job of keeping things in our communities and passing things down too. A lot of family businesses go out of business because there's nobody else in the family that wants to carry on what's going on. Just like we have a cleaning business, but neither one of my kids is interested in the cleaning business. So, it may have to end up going to somebody who's outside of the family in order for it to carry on.
Yeah, a Black business, as the four of us talk, it's when you use Black business, it's what you think of yourself. Mm-hmm. I look at Black businesses, am I talking about myself? Is this slow? Is this going to be cost too much? It's more of what you think of yourself when you support Black businesses. Because if you look back in the day in the 60s, when we started to come out of civil rights, the African Americans who started businesses loved themselves. So it was no big deal to go to African American florists, go to African American architects, insurance companies, businesses doing floors. It was not a big thing. That's what they expected because they loved themselves. It starts with self.
That is so
good point.
You're absolutely right. It was like a reawakening, especially in the 60s and the 70s. We were about that, about, keeping things. And I think it comes in a cycle or something. I really, don't know, because I was reading an article about what happened back in North Carolina, like in the late 1800s, and how they were having a community that had Black and white people living together, and people were owning businesses. And then, they had like this coup d'etat that occurred. The man came in and he overthrew the government and pushed all the people out. But they were on their way. And then it wasn't until the 60s that they actually could get the Voting Rights Act after that. So because as a result of what happened, they started doing all of the, the poll taxing and all those type of things that came along with it. And so I just think that we go through these cycles of having this awareness, being all proud, and then it's like we kind of like, I don't know, want to go. And I think,
how is it? We come together and demonstrate, and then, we fight, we say we want equality, and we present ourselves, but then we go back to our separate corners.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things that Black people can agree on, and I went to the Black Lives Matter rally in DC. I was all about the unification there that they were working on, and then when you go home, you kind of lose muster. You're back in your own environment, right, and what you're used to. But if we can take it back to a base level, if I want my dollar to speak for me, then I should use it in a place that I know is going to benefit me and mine. It's that simple. And if you have to do extra research to find a florist in your neighborhood of color, or, you know, a barber, a beautician, someone who's going to braid hair, do the work. The obvious thing, like, we know there's a lot of choices, and yes, you might have to sift through some bad choices to get to a good one, to get to your Black excellence that you spoke to, Kent. But once you're there, those are the people that you promote. Those are the people, like when somebody says, Pam, your hair looks nice, where'd you get that done? You can tell them, right? Because you know that lady is going to provide good service. This is how we weed out, you know, just fly by night kind of businesses, or people who just decide, you know, I see everybody else doing it, let me try and get a couple dollars and move forward. You have to be smart about how you spend your money and where you spend your money. And if you're not willing to spend it with a Black business, then Kent is correct. That speaks to how you feel about you.
Sure. We also can't forget, ladies, we have to hold our elected officials accountable with our tax dollars. We pay our taxes, and we still don't get contracts from city, state, and local governments. We have to make sure that people in positions of authority and power are making sure that it's equitable for professional services on all businesses. As far as we pay our taxes, that's our money. And to act like we can't get our money is, we need to handle that strictly, and with voting at the booth, definitely.
We speak so much through voting, you know, and it's so important. It's something that cannot be ignored. And I preach that a lot. You know, we have to make sure that our voices are heard. And what better way to do it than making sure that we elect officials who hear us and want to help us.
Correct.
But
correct.
You're absolutely
from the school board on down.
Absolutely.
That is correct.
Yep.
Absolutely. Right. To the judges, to your police chief, to your city councilman,
Exactly.
all of it matters. All of it matters.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I didn't know. I just found out for the two lawyers on the thing that the judges give away a lot of work. And once they're elected, they give away a lot of work to private lawyers. And, you know, we got a lot of Black judges, but I don't see a lot of Black law firms popping up all over Cleveland or Northeast Ohio.
That's you are right. You are right. You're absolutely. I think again, it's some of it has to do with what's the easier path. Is it easier just to come out of law school and then try to get hired either at a governmental agency or at a company? You know, it's a lot of work to really be able to run your own firm. And I know I was in private practice for a while, and it comes and goes. Like some weeks I may have made a lot of money, and then other weeks I didn't. And so sometimes you base it on, you know, you want a steady paycheck. You want to know how to budget based on that paycheck. You want to have certain you know, benefits that go along with the job. So it's a lot that goes into actually running a private practice. But I agree with you though. We have to do things, you know, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do in order to be able to promote yourself and to promote excellence within our communities and to show our young people, look, you know what, I had a law firm, or, you know, when they see that, then that would make them maybe join your law firm and continue to grow it.
Which is exactly why representation matters. That's why I wrote the children's book, because my daughter, they were learning how to read in her class and they didn't have any books with Black people. So I wrote one. You can read this, right? It's the,
what's the name
when you were talking about
your book though, Stephanie, I do want you to say the name of your book.
It's called It's a Nice Day, Mommy, and it is available on Amazon.
All right.
All right.
What a sweet title.
Plug, right? But Pam, you were talking about being in private practice and starting your own law firm and that kind of thing. One of the reasons I went to law school was because there were my uncle's a judge, Judge Larry Jones. He's an appellate judge here in Cleveland. But other than him and people that hung around, right, I didn't know of any female lawyers of color who were trial lawyers. So I specifically wanted to do that. And I learned from an older white gentleman in Cleveland at the time, but I was the only minority at the firm. And bringing home the bacon wasn't the major concern, but trying to make white people aware of issues that affect Black people in a legal position, in a business position. You know, our office building was down there behind the Galleria. Anytime I went down there for lunch, the majority of the people in the food court who owned those businesses were minorities. And once they found out I was a lawyer, they came to the firm to do work, right? And then you can market, hey, we have somebody that looks like us, she knows Black people issues, it's that kind of thing. But if you don't have a base or somebody willing to say you do add value just by nature of who you are, it's difficult, especially for those judges, because the majority of them are just going to go to their buddies. It's just, it's kind of a buddy system.
Yeah.
But
go to what they know.
They do go to what they know.
You also have to determine what success looks like, and it may not be financial. Success looks different in every aspect of your life.
That's true.
That is true. And your success paired with your integrity determines how you're going to do what you do. It determines the type of lawyer you're going to be. It determines the type of architect you're going to be. It determines the type of business owner you're going to be, right? If you're a good person, you're going to do right by your business partners, by your customers, by your clients. And that's important. And in order for us to establish that kind of trust, other people need to see that there are Black people in positions that do what they need done, right? They provide services that are worth money, not always, getting the family and friends discount, right?
Right.
But once we actually meet people that know, a lawyer can charge $400, $600 an hour, and somebody can still come and ask for a discount. Well, what's the discount? You're not going to ask the white guy who's providing you legal services for a discount. But I get that question often. And that's not to say that I don't offer some type of discount too when I have to, but or just do it because it's the right thing to do, because I see you trying to, you are hustling, you're trying to make it work, and you are just another person of color trying to move forward, and I'm going to help you. But everything doesn't always require a dollar. But
that's true.
But when the relationship is over or the transaction is over, how are you going to communicate that experience to the next person, right? Because it can't always be a freebie to everybody. It's not going to offer his services for free, right, to every person that comes to the door. Neither are you all. And we have to get away from expecting that of each other, but we also still have to set the foundation, and we should have a Black network of everything automatically. Like even after we're done with this, right? We should be on LinkedIn together. If I have a issue with an architect in Cleveland, I should be able to say, let me talk to Kent. He'll tell me what I'm supposed to do. That's how you create the network.
That's right.
And we have to establish that fabric for the people behind us too. Because that's the other thing Black people have always had to do. We have to prop people up on our shoulders, because we're not going to be here forever. It's not going to be your business forever. You're going to have to pass it down to somebody, even if it's not your children, if you're going to sell it to another Black family who wants to take it over. But it's always somebody on our shoulders, because we're standing on somebody's shoulders.
All right. Well, Stephanie, I'm going to let that be your last word, as we're about to run out of time. But that was excellent, what you just said. And now, and Ken, is there anything you want to say by way
Excellent.
No, I'm very grateful to be on Public Opinion with Pam and Vanetta and Stephanie as a colleague to debate these issues and talk about these issues and help move the community forward. It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see you guys back in the future.
Thank you.
You have
so
a
much
lot
for
to
the
offer.
opportunity.
All right. Thank you.
Very much.
All right, Vanetta, what did you think about our guests?
They were on fire. I enjoyed them immensely. I mean, Stephanie, that's my attorney. That's where I'm going. Okay.
So just go to
And Kit can build me anything.
Okay, I think both of their statements were very much on point and very much needed. Very much needed. I think
Very much.
What are your takeaways though from this show?
Well, accountability. She pushed that, and I hadn't thought of it in that manner so much, that as a Black business, internally, we've got to make sure that we are accountable, that we know that there is a thought process that we're less than, and we really work to overcome that.
Yeah, absolutely right. We had to we have to patronize each other, and we have to make sure that we are maintaining a level of professionalism that will want people to continue to come back and tell other people about our businesses. So thanks so much again for joining me as my co-host. If you enjoyed this segment, please like and subscribe to our channel. And until next time, we'll see you, because everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Bye-bye.
Bye.